let me just jump in here. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties. I'm not sure what happened there. We weren't going to show the infrastructure video, and that wrap-up video was going to come later on in the program, but thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I want to thank all of you so much for being here for this first ever virtual annual summer meeting of the NGA. And we were all supposed to be together in beautiful Portland, Maine for this meeting, but it is great to be able to welcome so many of my colleagues, even virtually. And I want to thank Bill McBride and the great staff at NGA. I want to thank my staff in Maryland, and most especially, I want to thank my fellow governors and their staffs for all of your incredible efforts and your support over the past year. And I also want to thank our outgoing executive committee members for their service, and to welcome and congratulate the incoming executive committee members. It was the honor of a lifetime to have been chosen by my colleagues to serve as chairman of the National Governors Association. I could not be more proud of this organization, of every single one of our governors on both sides of the aisle, and of everything that we have accomplished together. In states across the country, at one of the most important moments in our history, governors are doing what we do best. We're working together in a bipartisan way, showing real leadership, making real progress, and finding real solutions to the serious problems facing us. Never has that type of leadership been more important than it is right now in America. I began my term as chairman last July in Salt Lake City by launching a national infrastructure initiative. In August, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker hosted us in Boston to discuss innovative ways to reduce traffic congestion. In September, we completed a 3-city fact-finding mission in Australia. We were hosted by Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer in October, where we talked about protecting America's critical infrastructure. In January, Governor Gavin Newsom hosted us in San Francisco for a discussion on eliminating red tape and smart technologies. And we were looking forward to traveling to Phoenix last month, but Governor Ducey hosted us virtually instead to discuss leveraging private sector investments. But after our NGA winter meeting in Washington back in February, the world changed. For all of us, our focus quickly shifted to battling an unprecedented global pandemic, which has taken a terrible toll on our communities and wreaked havoc on our national and state economies. Responding to this crisis has shown more than ever the vital role of governors and of the NGA. Over the past 5 months, in the face of the most daunting challenge of our lifetime, America's governors have stepped up and led. We didn't let the politics get in the way, and we didn't hesitate to make the tough decisions. We followed the advice of the experts. We worked around the clock to build up our public health infrastructure, to expand our testing capacity, build contact tracing operations, and to provide life-saving PPE to our doctors, nurses, and first responders. Most importantly, in response to a silent enemy that doesn't recognize state boundaries or political parties, we work together. Since the NGA's first briefing on the virus by federal leaders back in February, where Dr. Fauci and Dr. Redfield spoke with us, we have held over 50 calls with the governors in states across America, including 32 of them with the president or vice president, members of the cabinet, and the White House Coronavirus Task Force, not to mention the countless other communications that we've had together over the past 5 months. We have looked to each other for ideas, advice, and for help. We have worked across party lines together, and when it really mattered, we have spoken with a unified voice. We successfully pushed for Title 32 funding to support the National Guard's COVID-19 response missions. We convinced the federal administration to invoke the Defense Production Act to produce ventilators and swabs and to make more life-saving supplies available to the states. We achieved greater flexibility in federal CARES Act funding to sustain critical response efforts on the front lines. The National Governors Association has been more relevant and more effective than it has ever been before. Our swift, early, and aggressive actions and our unified efforts have helped to save lives. Of course, we all know that this crisis is far from over, and we continue to battle this global pandemic and this economic collapse. And we will continue to push Congress and the administration to follow through on their commitment to provide additional critical funding for state governments who are battling on the front lines. I have no doubt that together, America's governors will continue to lead and that we will continue to do whatever it takes to get our states and our nation back on track. Together, we will do what America and Americans have always done in times of crisis. We will defeat this deadly virus together. We will get through this, and we will come back stronger and better than ever before. Once again, thank you for giving me the incredible honor of serving as your chairman this past year. I especially want to thank my vice chair and the incoming chairman of the NGA, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. We have had a terrific working relationship over this past year. I'm proud of all that the NGA has accomplished. And Governor Cuomo, I wish you and your vice chair, Governor Hutchinson, all the best and much continued success over the next year. May God bless each and every one of you and the people of your states. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. At the beginning of this part of the program, I said what a privilege it had been to work with Governor Hogan for this past year. What I have learned about him is that he is a practical and focused leader who knows how to stay positive and to keep moving forward, even when facing difficult circumstances, especially when facing difficult circumstances. We certainly saw these qualities as the pandemic began hitting hard this spring, and Governor Hogan's strong leadership encouraged everyone to just keep looking forward and solving problems one by one. He started holding weekly conference calls for all governors, and they bonded together over their shared vision of keeping the virus at bay while revitalizing the economy. Americans responded to governors' hard work on the front lines. They started seeing their governors as practical problem solvers. The pandemic surely capitulated governors into the public spotlight, and I think it served to make the public more aware of what states and governors actually do. We at NGA have been excited to facilitate this work and to create the communications that kept governors in touch with each other through the spring and continue to connect governors today. Governor Hogan, I know that I echo the thoughts of all governors of the states and territories when I say thank you for your leadership of NGA during the past year. And I know I speak for the staff at NGA as well, all of whom have done great work in support of states and governors during your chairmanship. They also thank you. We're here to help states succeed and to help governors succeed. We're here to help governors speak with one voice, to amplify that voice. It has been exciting to be involved in all of it under your leadership. Even though it has been an extraordinary and unforgettable year, filled with difficulty and challenge, it has been among the most rewarding chapters of our careers to see governors working so effectively together. You elevated the debate and worked across the aisle under very difficult circumstances. You have embodied the spirit of NGA, which is governors working together in a bipartisan fashion to find practical solutions. Thank you, Governor Hogan, for your bipartisan leadership that brought governors together in this most difficult but memorable year. And now we have some special messages for you sent by some of your colleagues.
Hey, Governor Hogan, this is your pal, Governor Baker, way up here in Massachusetts. Larry, I just want to say, I can't imagine that this is what you expected when you signed up to be chair of the NGA.
We don't think this was exactly what you had in mind. But when the pandemic hit, recognizing the value of a bipartisan organization like the NGA,
we started talking on a regular basis about the problems we were all facing and practical solutions.
Thanks to your leadership, we shared our good ideas, we learned what was working in different areas of the country and how we can work better together.
You brought that spirit of bipartisan cooperation to the NGA this year, and we are taking it forward as we continue to work on the pandemic and the economic challenges it created.
Your chair's initiative on infrastructure was near and dear to my heart as the woman who wants to fix the damn roads. And it's exactly what America needs to modernize the systems we all use on a daily basis and boost our recovery. Projects that get workers back to work and create economic momentum That's what we need to do. So thank you for focusing on our infrastructure.
Throughout this year, Americans have seen their governors working together and finding solutions. You helped us accomplish that.
Larry, you've been a friend to all of the governors this year. Thank you for your great work as the chair of the NGA. Thanks, Larry, for a job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for your great work.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you for your dedicated service as chair of the NGA. God bless.
Well, thank you very, very much. I can't thank you enough for all of that. And Governor Cuomo, I just want to wish you the very best of luck. I'm very excited to be having this opportunity to pass this gavel on to you, and I'm looking forward to your leadership over the next year. It's been great working with you. I look forward to continue under your leadership. Thank you.
I got it, Larry. Thank you very, very much. First to Bill McBride and the whole team at the NGA, thank you very much for your service this year. To Governor Hogan, the honor was ours, Governor Hogan. The pressure was on, and when the pressure is on, you can see what a person is really made of. And you really rose to the occasion, and we all owe you a big, big thank you. I give you a virtual round of applause, Governor Hogan. And I know every governor joins me in doing exactly that. You've been a friend to us through this impossible past year. And I look forward to relying on you as we go forward and continuing your counsel as I take the gavel from you. I also look forward to working with our Vice Chairman, Governor Asa Hutchinson. We all thank Governor Hutchinson for his agreement to serve. The question before us now as we wrap up this meeting is, what should the NGA agenda be for the next year? It should adopt the agenda that is most relevant to the governors. And I think we all know what that is. Frankly, my friends, I don't think we have that many options this year. Next year's agenda is not really going to be a question of discretion, but rather the dictation of reality. Our agenda is America's recovery and revival. First, we must manage the COVID virus until a vaccine is developed, and we need the federal government to work with us in partnership in that effort. Second, we will need to deal with the undeniable consequences and effects of COVID. The economic damage that it has done is all across this country, and the critical public health care needs that COVID has exposed and highlighted. And third, all this in the context of a new chapter in the federal-state relationship. Well, I'm sure none of us wanted to be in the position of dealing with COVID. The last 6 months have highlighted the importance and capacity of state governments. I think Bill McBride is exactly right. We now have shown what states can do, and it's time to reformulate and redefine the federal partnership, especially in this coming year when not only are we working through dealing with this pandemic, but we also have several critical legislative reauthorizations that are expiring. As we gather today, we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that COVID is a problem that affects every state in this nation. It is the great unifier. It doesn't discriminate. This is a battle for all of us, and we know that we must resolve this virus together. We know that unless COVID is defeated everywhere, it won't be defeated anywhere. COVID will ricochet across this country, bouncing from one state to another. And the only course forward, in both our state's self-interest and in our collective interest, is to lock arms and to leave this virus no place to spread. We all know the weapons needed for the war we must wage. We need unprecedented testing capacity and the supply chain to support it. We need contact tracing. We need stockpiles of PPE, medicine, supplies, and we need an emergency surge capacity. We need financial support for our beleaguered hospitals. This nation has gone through MERS and SARS and Ebola and swine flu and now COVID. No one can tell you the name of the next virus or bacteria that's going to attack us, but everyone tells us that it's just a matter of time and we have to be ready for it. So let's institutionalize what we have learned so we're better prepared for the next invasion. And let us design and implement a new public health system for this nation, because we just cannot go through what we went through over these past few months again. The COVID challenge goes even further. As we just heard from our Vice Chairman, Governor Asa Hutchinson, our schools are facing unprecedented challenges. They must now not only educate our students, they also have to keep them safe from this deadly virus. It's an entirely new undertaking, and the states will work with them, but we also need federal support. None of this is going to be easy, but all of it is achievable. At the same time, we must deal with the secondary effects of COVID. It has wreaked havoc on this nation's economy. Governor Hogan is exactly right. And you can quantify the damage by adding together the jobs lost and the deficits of all our states. All major economists agree that without providing financial assistance for state and local governments, the economy will not rebound as quickly as it would otherwise. Federal Chairman Powell, Fed Chairman Bernanke, economists all across the board agree. The NGA is united in telling our Washington colleagues that they must include $500 billion in unrestricted state funding in the upcoming COVID response legislation. That is a top NGA priority by a unified NGA. This is also the moment to implement the agenda the NGA developed last year under Governor Hogan's leadership. This is the moment to invest in infrastructure. We need to reinvigorate the economy, and we need to replace aging infrastructure. We've all talked about it for decades, but this is the moment to finally do it. Let the federal government provide the funds, and let the states build it. And finally, the federal-state relationship that has always been a dynamic tension since it was first embodied in our Constitution by our founding fathers. There are checks and balances, and there is a federal and state dynamic tension. That was written into the Constitution. But there has never been a moment where state governments have been more instrumental in the lives of the people of this country. State governments are now at the forefront, and it is a new chapter in the governance of this country. This coming year, states will not only be laboratories of democracy, we will also be the engines of economic renewal, and we will also be the innovators of a new public health system, institutionalizing what we learned. There is tremendous possibility in the nation's recognition of the full potential of state governments. And most of all, we are committed to achieving progress. That is the essence of our role as governors. That is what we do. As governors, we all know that at the end of the day, there is no red and blue. All our states have both. We understand that we govern for the red, the white, and blue. That's what we do. This next year will be challenging for sure. But all battles are hard, and ours could not have a more noble or righteous purpose. I'm honored to be standing beside all of you as we lead this nation forward. I'm honored to be taking the gavel from Governor Hogan and the great executive committee. I'm grateful to be serving with the great Vice Chairman, Governor Hutchinson. And with that, I conclude the 112th NGA annual meeting. It was a bang of the gavel.